Real men don't support OnlyFans. Period. Sorry, not sorry. And I'm not talking about the women themselves. I'm not talking about not supporting women. The social construct or the program itself, the app of OnlyFans, not the women.
This way? This way. I'm uncomfortable.
We're both too preoccupied with what we look like. We need to pretend the cameras are not here and just be here. Be here now. That used to be like my high school.
Should we pray?
Yeah, we should pray. Oh, Jesus, help us.
Do you want to pray? You want
Please,
me to
Lord. I'll pray. I need to talk to him real quick. Jesus, thank you so much for this incredible relationship. Thank you for bringing Crystal and Kate into my life. Thank you for the work that you are doing on our hearts. Thank you for using our broken, for using our past, for using every bit of us for your glory, even the bits that hurt the most. Please help us to be a light and to shine you and just talk through us, Lord, and take us out of it and help us to just be a vessel for you with our platforms.
Amen. I'm gonna pause that.
Hello, Manhattan. So, oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm finally here.
I know.
It's been like, what, a year?
It's been 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
We've known each other for 2 years, and this is our first time meeting in person.
I know.
Which is wild. The internet is wild.
The internet is wild.
Because it's like, I feel like I've always known you.
Right? There is that
When I first saw you, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I've never seen you in person before. It was just like,
you again. Isn't that how it is for a lot of people that come into our lives? Yeah.
when they're supposed to be. The people they're supposed to be there.
Actually, not always. Have you ever met a twin flame?
Someone that's just like me. And how?
Do you know about a twin flame?
Yeah, but I don't think twin flames bad.
They're not bad. Well, it depends on what you believe about them, which that's a whole nother topic. But sometimes they are supposed to be there, but they're not supposed to stay.
And why?
Like,
they're supposed to show you something, teach you something about yourself.
Let's just call it a trauma bond, if you will.
I don't think the trauma bonds and twin flames are the same.
Sometimes they can. It depends on the walk of life.
I think a twin flame is the same person, the same passion, and the same. Your twin flame has the same passions and purpose.
Do you know what the definition of a twin flame is?
No.
Let me teach you. It's not the same as a soulmate.
Well, no, because it's totally. I think of
Total
twin
opposites.
flame more like friends.
No. Twin flames sometimes it can be a friend. And this is just from my past knowledge when I was in my dark times. We'll get into. A twin flame is someone that comes into your life and you feel like you've always known them, right? However, it's technically another half of you. But you have a runner and you have a chaser.
That is like a toxic relationship cycle. That's just the avoidant and the whatchamacallit.
Yes, and a lot of people get caught up in that. However, what ends up happening if it's a true twin flame relationship, you mirror each other, and it's supposed to come into your life to reveal to you certain things about yourself that you.
Hence the twin flame.
Right, but you mirror each other, so it's this catalyst for change, and
Okay.
it's not always good. It's not.
Well,
good.
Kate is definitely my twin flame.
But that's a good catalyst,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, if you meet a romantic partner that ends up being a twin flame, that's when it gets a little tricky. I have had a couple twin flames in my life because sometimes there can be more than one.
Yeah.
So one of them brought up a lot of things inside of me, that patterns that needed to be broken, things that needed to be looked at. Extremely uncomfortable. There's been another one who has helped awaken a side of me that was always in there, but it was extremely painful as well, right? So sometimes they end up together and sometimes they don't.
I feel like I wouldn't want to date a twin flame because they'd be too much like me and I'd kill myself.
They're not like you. It's not that. They're not like you.
I feel like
They're the mirror of you. Is your mirror the exact reflection of you?
no, but they are definitely. Your mirror is definitely like you. Sure, it looks like you. It's your mirror.
But they're right. But they're mirroring parts of you that are supposed to change. Does that make sense? So, for example, I'll give you this.
Is the one defining what a twin flame is? Who gets to make that?
I don't know.
My definition of twin flame, I feel like, is a little different than that.
Well, then I guess. It's
But I didn't make up the word, so.
Right. Well, it depends on, I guess, which Who
Like
you
who you
asking?
see.
Right. You're asking. So the definition of twin flame that I'm aware of, right? Someone came into my life, and at the time, I was what they would consider anxious attachment. They were avoidant. However, there was a connection between each other. We had a lot of things in common. There was a massive chemistry that you just can't deny. I feel like I've known you forever. But there were these equal and opposites. If you look in the mirror, your right hand is technically your left hand. You know what I'm saying? So they came in and revealed to me this thing that was not doing me any good, and then ultimately left, and it was a catalyst.
But you learned from that experience.
Yes.
I could see
However,
and that is the most popular, not most popular, I think it's one of the most common unhealthy toxic relationship.
because you get caught up in the
Cycle.
of the connection in the beginning. Yes.
But that, because if you study the different love, have you read the book? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on what it's called. How We Love. It's by a couple, an older couple, they're therapists. It's a Christian-based book, but they go over the unhealthy love. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm talking about?
The patterns,
and then a secure, and what a secure connection looks like.
Anxious, avoidant.
Yes.
Secure,
so that is
all
one of the
that.
most common one is the anxious and the avoidant and the dance
Yes.
that they do.
Yes.
And how to work through that. But you can actually adjust and change.
If
and
the
I've had
avoidant wants to work through
if
that.
they both want to. They
Yeah.
both have to want
But
to.
the thing about the twin flame is, right, this twin flame relationship, the second you flip the polarities is what they call it. So when the anxious now starts to pull away, the avoidant, through space and time or energy or connection, can feel that. So now they become the chaser.
So it switches.
It switches.
Been there.
So I have my own theory that I think it's way more complicated than just anxious, avoidant, secure, whatever.
There's so many layers. We're humans.
There is.
There's so many layers to us. But that was my most abusive, toxic relationship, was exactly that.
Yep.
It was that exact cycle. He would run away, break up with me, and I would go run back after him. I was the anxious, he was the avoidant, and it was this. And he would do it to get me to go away. And then if I pulled back, he'd come after me. That exact over and over.
It's a twin flame.
And the only person that can stop that cycle is the anxious.
Which is the anxious twin. Yes. So you were ultimately the one that decided it was done. He would have done it forever. But the intensity of the relationship and the connection, probably not unlike any other, right?
Was unlike any other.
Was unlike any other.
The intensity,
How was the sex?
No, because, well, it was not healthy. Because I told you
Yes.
earlier about that.
But the connection.
The connection was crazy, but that was also because there was substances involved. So who's to say if the connection would actually have been real at all without that?
Right.
But the toxic connection, like a magnet, for sure.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it was stronger than any connection I've ever had. For sure
Okay,
wouldn't.
so
I would
let's
say
talk
my
about-
first love, for sure, by far. And then also when I dated a drug addict, I would know, and I had never slept with him. I was never intimate with him. I knew when he was in trouble. I knew he would leave rehab. I would know. Immediately I would know, and I would get in my car, and I once found him, and I remember him looking at me. I had dropped him off at rehab.
do you know?
I left. Yeah. And halfway back, I turned around. Halfway back after just dropping him off, I turned around, I drive up, and I look at him, and he's like, "How did you find me? How did you even know I left?" I just knew. And it happened so many times.
How long
And that's
did
a
that
soul
last?
tie. That's a soul tie.
Yes.
Until I was done. Until I realized I was enabling him. And so these patterns continue themselves
Did he
over
ever
and
get
over.
clean?
He's clean and living in Italy now.
Wow.
And he owns a vitamin shop or something.
How
He's
did
still an
you-
asshole, but
How did you finally realize you were done?
I realized. So always
Did it take another guy?
no. I always had to, with each one of these experiences, I had to get outside of myself and realize more than I was hurting myself, I was hurting them. And when I did that, when I flipped it like that, because I cared too much about them, hurting me wasn't enough. I had to finally realize I was hurting them. That's always what got me to leave.
How were you hurting them?
With him, I was enabling him, right? Because I realized I'm bringing him back to rehab after rehab, he has to hit rock bottom. He has to want to change. Doesn't matter how many rehabs I bring him back to and how much I support him and I sit there and I do all of the things. And I was killing myself doing it. And then with my other relationship, I realized I was hurting the people around me. And that was the kicker. And you start to lose people. People start dropping off like flies. Bad things start happening. Mm-hmm. And I think like that is what it took for me. Mm-hmm. Is like that last... I can't hurt anyone else with my refusal to leave this relationship and think it's going to change, think it's going to be better, think he's going to change. I can fix him.
We can run off into the sunset.
So, OnlyFans.
Let's talk about OnlyFans.
Let's talk about OnlyFans because we live in a generation that has just absolutely made, can we say sex on the industry socially acceptable at a very, very young age. And I just don't think that these young girls realize the extent of what they are doing. Now, look, I'm not saying don't support the women. Support the women. Love the women. Don't judge the women. I'm not supporting that industry that is putting these women in a position where they think that this is a good idea, potentially hurting their futures. Even because of the money itself set aside. Because if you're making such good money like that, and eventually it's going to go away if you want to stop. I don't know exactly. Look, I'm not out here researching OnlyFans all day, right? And I'm sure if you take this money and you start a business, you invest it, you buy a home, you could absolutely have longevity in your career from starting from OnlyFans. But I think that there are consequences to everything we do. And when you're doing things that is at that young, that you won't be able to take away. You know what I mean? Like you put anything on the internet, as someone who's been on MTV, I've had my profiles scrubbed so many times. They do thorough background checks to the extent where if anyone even said the N-word to me, it comes up on my track record.
So how young is too young?
Well, I definitely think that girls under 18 should not be out there doing that.
Technically, that's illegal.
But they're still doing it.
They're doing it anyways.
They don't care. It's a money-making industry. It's about the money, and they don't care.
So let's do a little experiment. Listen to me.
Okay.
I have 120,000 followers.
Yes. Let's do the math.
Because I'm a numbers person.
We got our calculator.
120,000 followers. Let's just say 80% of those are men.
That's 96,000.
Now, for shits and giggles, let's just say 80,000 of those. Let's just say 80,000 instead of 96. Let's knock it down a little bit.
80,000.
All right. Now, statistically speaking, let's say not even 45, not 35. Let's do 25% of those 90,000.
25%
have
80,000.
25% of 80,000 have an OnlyFans subscription.
That's 20,000.
20,000. 20.
How much is
25% of 80,000 is 20,000.
Correct.
All right. Now, let's say all of those have a subscription to OnlyFans or some type of sex industry or whatever, paying $5.99 a month. $5.95.
$5.99.
Yep.
That's $119,000
a month.
A month. It's not focusing. You got this. Yes. Look at that. $119,000.
Now ask me why.
Why what?
The big question everyone asks me. The same one they ask you.
Why don't you have an OnlyFans? You could be making $119,000 a month.
Just with 20,000.
Just with, what did we say? 25% of your following. You could be making $119,000 a month. Why don't you have one, Crystal? Are you stupid?
Because, Chelsea, everything has a price. There are consequences for all of our actions.
Get it?
Mic drop. Do it again. Nothing that comes easy, right?
Nothing is free. Period.
Nothing that comes easy stays. And anything that's worked for long term and you take the higher road, the hard road, right? I believe that it's more sustainable. Now, how do you tell that to OnlyFans models and porn stars who make
$119,000 a month.
Probably more than that, right?
Realistically.
How do you tell them that there's a price for this?
You can't.
Right. There's not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So my thing is, okay, and now mind you, I had a period of time where I thought about it. I moved down here to South Florida, the porn capital of the world. Well, not world, at least the United States.
Okay.
Everyone said, why don't you just put your ass on OnlyFans, strip club, whatever. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Why? Like I was the foreign object.
Yeah.
I talked about this before in another podcast. And me personally, okay, remember trying to do it, even trying to attempt to like porn or whatever, and it just felt bad, right? It felt wrong. However, some women say that they don't experience that.
That's what I was going to ask next. What about the girls who genuinely don't? They love it. They enjoy it.
At some point, I don't believe that was always the case for them. And I could be wrong. Like you said, right? Numbing. You learn to numb that.
Yeah.
Because there's a bigger need or a higher want for material things. Okay, curious to know how their insides are, what their personal relationships like, their family relationships are like, what their relationships with their friends are like, and what the statistics are on how long this goes on,
Yeah.
how long they stay in this industry, what happens when you are 40 years old, 50 years old, okay? You've done this your entire life.
Yeah.
Body doesn't really look the same anymore. There's new, younger women coming up, doing all of these things. And now you're like, okay, all this money isn't keeping me warm at night. I want a husband.
Yeah.
What type of man do you think you're going to get? Let's talk about that. What
So-
type of men are okay with that? And will they really bring those women home to mom? I don't know the answer to that for everyone.
Yeah.
I know that the type of man that I want,
Yeah.
not bring that home to mom.
Yeah.
Not even looking at stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's only got eyes for me.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that if I want a long, sustaining, we'll say spiritual or God-fearing, I'm not even going to put religious aspect on it, where the universe, God, whoever you believe in, is continuing to bless this relationship and make it last.
Yeah.
So I believe that that's going to happen when you are adding this type of thing into the relationship. Based on what I have seen, it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah.
You split, there are problems in the relationship, there's no respect. Like, your ass is online like that, you ain't taking it off.
Yeah.
If you have kids,
What if you have kids and your kids are like mom's ass to their friends? That's what I think about genuinely. I don't want my little boy being like at school having to deal with his friends being like, I've seen your mom naked.
yeah, I seen your mom getting, for lack of a better term, I'm not even gonna say it.
Yeah.
Can't even say it.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
is what these kids deal with nowadays. Bullying in itself is already a major issue.
Yeah.
So, what if you have a kid growing up? What if you have a little girl?
Yeah.
Right? You want her growing up doing the same thing? Maybe you do. What are you teaching? What
Yeah.
are you instilling into that young female?
Yeah.
All right, to throw it out there, maybe you're knocked up by 17, you have HIV by the time you're freaking 25, 30 years old. You know?
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate right here.
Okay.
I genuinely think that this is such an important topic that we do have to address, right? And well, what I'm seeing is, first of all, the porn industry is arguably the most clean because they have to get tested, like, often.
That is
Number
an argument.
2, these girls, 9 times out of 10, at least the bigger players, the ones that I've seen on Instagram and talking about their experience, are very much like, I enjoy this and I want this. I'm not doing this for material things. This is something I actually enjoy doing and it's my body, right? And they're not ashamed and they're owning it. And
I love it.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, the guy that actually loves me will be with me no matter what.
Are they though?
Well,
Are they in relationships?
first of all, I don't know. I don't actually have a lot of only friends. My
Can't even say it. It doesn't exist.
my friends. No, we're not making fun of. Let me be real clear. We're not making fun of these women. We are discussing something that I find almost like comic relief in because it depresses me a bit. Right? It makes me very emotional. It makes me very sad. when you go to a strip club, you generally see like not a bunch of like that are, every once in a while they're paying their way through college or something, but generally they're not there for funsies. Or maybe you have like girls in like, they all have the Lambos. They're doing it because they're making good money. So like all over the charts, but generally I think there's a top tier winners that are making like, and that feel good about it, and they're like, this is my choice, my body, but like are putting their bodies out there and getting nothing for it. Nothing. Like I've seen some girls put it all out there on Instagram and they are not making good money doing that. And they, again, you cannot take those things back.
That's
and look,
the promise and the lie behind it, right?
Yeah, I'm all for you know, your body and loving that. I'm wondering where along the line did we start saying that in order to love your body and be in your body and like in control of your body, putting it out there for anyone to see, how is that treating it like the sacred thing that it is? Like, they're beautiful young women, and I don't think every guy should have access to be able to see them. And I think that even though they may not care now, I don't know if I fully believe that they will never care. I don't believe that none of them, genuinely none of them cares. There's no part of them that thinks sometimes, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Right. I think you're right. I think something, and maybe not even the money, something about the money, but sometimes psychologically, something outweighs those feelings. And maybe it's the control. Maybe it's, I didn't have control growing up, you know, my home. Maybe it's, you know, parents, you know, down and out and had no money, and now I'm able to provide for myself. Maybe it's I didn't get attention from mom or from dad. Maybe it's all over the chart.
Maybe they just
get off on it. For sure.
Some people enjoy that.
100%. 100%. I just don't think that. I think that maybe there are the exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, I mean, we have created a culture that is telling little girls, we are telling all the little girls that this is okay, and there's a lot more that are doing it. There's probably a lot of little girls that are doing it that will regret it. And we have created a culture that is feeding the men's needs and telling women that by them putting their needs aside and serving the men, they're winning. And that's a lie.
I agree. And I think that the other flip side of it, and I experience this myself, is the shame that comes around people who choose not to do it. Like, wouldn't you? What's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you do that? What are you, like, wuss? You know what I mean? Like peer pressure.
No, I'm not in that environment, but you are in that environment here. And here's the thing. I am in LA, so there does exist, but I haven't been in that environment.
Right.
But I can see how that would be.
Yeah. Right. An attractive woman.
Yeah.
Who I take pride in the fact of like able to work like the men do.
Yeah.
The men are making six figures by like businesses and like things like that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do everything against, you know, society, or at least, you know, a lot of the areas that I've been tell me that I should, statistically speaking, someone's happened to me, my past, my choices in my early 20s, having a kid at a young age, things like that, I should be in prison or dead. Those are the statistics, right? Now, based on who I am, the amount of sobriety I have, making six figures, owning businesses, a social media following, 3 college degrees, is more likely to be born with 11 fingers than that.
Really?
Yes, I did the numbers.
You and your numbers, I love it.
Well,
I am not a
I
numbers
am a
girl,
science major, so.
Okay. Forgot. Yes.
Yeah. I think that more important question is like, happens to these women inside and outside of that industry, and like happens when they want to leave, like what happens after that? What happens when like choose to no longer be a part of this? How do you recover from that? Like, is it possible to create a space for those women?
Yeah,
you know,
we're gonna need to, because there's gonna like I have actually a friend who was in the industry and then got out of it and is now a sexuality coach. Super cool. So there's definitely healing and power and choice, and it's what you do with it, right? But it's a scary It's scary how much we've normalized it.
And also, let's not just push the blame on the women, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it's the women's fault. I think we've created a space where we're telling them to believe that they're empowering themselves when they're doing the opposite.
And also, men have created, you just say, we don't know whether the chicken or the egg came first, right? Whether we're talking heartbreak, okay, attention seeking. Either the guy got his heart broke by a girl and then he turned into a savage, or the girl originally got her heart broke and she was out for men. Like, I've been on both sides of the coin. Okay? Now you have women, and I've been in this space to where they feel like all of their worth is based on what they look like. And if they're not letting that be seen, the men are flocking to them based on this physical attraction, like nothing. So that's the stigma around that also, which brings the issue back to the men, right? And I'm a huge advocate for, so are you. I think both of our following, right? Mostly men. I think that men are misunderstood.